sales event. Deals so right it almost feels wrong. Only at your local Hyundai dealer. And by 917 Lawyers, powered by Whites and Luxembourg. And by Popeyes. Love that chicken from Popeyes. And by the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Help America's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. And by Sandals, made of Caribbean. Well, the Hall of Famer Joe Torre on hand tonight in Tampa, Florida, exchanging lineups. Robbie Thompson, the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies, as we get ready to go for this one. Spring training baseball on a Friday night. The Hall of Famer number 6 is in the house. We'll take a look at the starting lineup for the Philadelphia Phillies, which is brought to you by Sandals, made of Caribbean. Kyle Schwarber is going to be playing first base and leading off. Johan Rojas, the DH. New addition, Max Kepler out in left field, batting third. Edmundo Sosa playing shortstop. Cody Clemens will be at second base. Garrett Stubbs behind the plate. Christian Arroyo playing third. Cal Stevenson out in right field. And the center fielder batting ninth, Rodolfo Castro. And that lineup going to be facing the veteran right-hander, Carlos Carrasco. You see the numbers this spring, 3 games. 2 of them have been starts, a 1-0 record, a 2.35 ERA. Maybe has walked a little too many, 5 walks in 7 2/3, and 6 strikeouts for Carrasco on the spring. First pitch of the ball game. And that just misses down. We're going to check out the Hyundai pitcher scouting report on Carlos Carrasco.
Well, Flash the vet, you mentioned 38 years old. It's 15 seasons with Cleveland and also the Mets, and it's all about health. Last couple years, 21 games he started last year, 20 games in 23, so it's all about his health. He's had issues with his elbow, his hip, you name it, and he could be in the mix with Will Warren, also Winans. We'll see him today pitch after Carrasco.
Good slider there to get a swing and a miss. Well, I wanted to talk to you about that, Nelly, as it's Jeff Nelson, John Flaherty, and Jack Curry with you tonight on a Friday night. We know the injuries have hit the Yankees in spring training. There'll be some opportunities in the rotation. What do the Yankees need to see from a veteran Carrasco?
Well, I think health. I mean, you look at the last, like we mentioned a couple years ago, last couple years, he's around 20 starts, and he's about 130, 140 innings in those starts. He's a veteran guy, so if you're looking for experience, you go with Carrasco. But if you're looking for the young arms, Will Warren's had a really good spring. Winans is not an overpowering guy. They got him from Atlanta off the waiver wire. We'll see him. A lot of off-speed stuff from Winans. So it's going to be very interesting. I mean, everybody now steps up. Now that Cole is out for the year, that means you have Fried, your number 1, Rodon. Stroman all of a sudden elevates himself. Instead of being maybe the number 5 starter, he goes into be the number 3 or 4. And then you have Clark Schmidt, who's also been banged up in spring training. So it's going to be an interesting spring or interesting decision here the last couple weeks, 13 days till opening day.
Yeah, I wonder if it comes down to somebody like Clark Schmidt, who we know is kind of behind a little bit. Do you give him a little extra time, take a look at somebody like Carrasco, and then kind of delay the decision, or do you go with the young arms pretty much right out of the gate?
Well, Carrasco's not on the roster, so you're going to have to add him. So once you add him, then all of a sudden you're stuck with that salary until, okay, if Clark Schmidt winds up coming back, unless they work something out where he has a minor league deal or a big league deal, like one of those split contracts. I can't imagine he does, especially with 15 years. This will be his 16th season in the major league. So I don't know if they go that route. I think they probably go more like a young guy like a Will Warren or a Winans in that route, where they can send him up and down until Schmidt is ready. I think Schmidt will get like 3 or 4 starts, and he'll wind up being that 5th starter, and he won't start, I think, until the 6th game, because I know originally with Cole they had him game 1 and game 5. With Rodon now being named the opening day starter, will they go Rodon game 1 and then game 5 and then bring Schmidt back in game 6?
Well, all the decisions that the Yankee front office, manager Aaron Boone, they're all going through at this point in spring training. You mentioned it. 13 days left before opening day. There's a 3-2 fouled off by Rojas.
You know, right now, whoever is in this rotation, it's all about building up the pitch count. You know, these guys aren't going to leave spring 80 pitches. maybe 85. You know, that's not a lot. It used to be 100, 110. So you're talking a lot of pressure on the bullpen early.
Swing and a miss. First out of the ball game for Carrasco. A good slider off the plate. We're going to take a look at the keys to the game, which is brought to you by your local Kia dealer.
Well, this is Flash's position, the backstop. Who's going to be the backup behind Wells? Escada is going to get the start. You have Rice, also Jackson in the mix. Smith getting more looks at first base. Also out in the outfield, DH. He's having a really good spring. 318, 2 homers, 10 RBIs, and ABs for Judge. Aaron Judge said in the beginning of the spring that he wasn't prepared last year, about 30, 35 ABs last year in spring. Got off to a really poor start in April. He would have liked to see about 55 to 65 ABs. Right now, he only has 13 with 2 weeks left.
Well, new outfielder for the Philadelphia Phillies, Max Kepler, batting third tonight as Carrasco just misses with a changeup.
Pitcher's challenging.
And we have a pitcher's challenge here on the ABS system.
They're calling the ball.
And it looks like that is going to be a ball as it misses the strike zone.
If this ever gets implemented, I think the pitcher has to be left out of it. I know it's this spring and everybody, it's almost like a game. It's a new toy. Let's see how it works. I know Garrett Cole, his last start before he was injured, he wanted to try to test it out. You look at Carrasco. I think for pitchers, we all think
everything's a strike.
It's either catcher or the hitter. You guys take care of that. The pitcher should be left out.
What do you think about the replay system as a whole?
I like it. I mean, I like it that it's quick and it doesn't take any time. I still like the human error.
Kepler blocks that one off the other way. That's going to be a fair ball. That's going to be extra bases as Bellinger comes up with it. Schwarber in the third, Kepler in the second, and the Phillies have something going here in the first.
Well, the one thing with Carrasco, he's not overpowering anymore. You talk about 5, 6, 7 years ago, he was in the mid-90s. Now about 90 to 91. That fastball is probably what he tops out at 92. So when it's up in the zone, it's a little easier for the hitters to handle. That ball was up. Kepler hit it down the line. He's basically a fastball slider guy. He does have a little bit more of a change-up usage than he normally used to, but basically fastball slider.
Good slider in there for a first pitch strike.
But the ABS, we're not going to see it this year. We're not going to see it next year either. If anything, maybe 27. I think in certain situations, I mean, everything's replayed now.
Sosa out to right field. Aaron Judge shielding himself from the sun, comes up with it. The strong throw home, and it's right on time. A nice play by J.C. Escara behind the plate. A strong throw from Aaron Judge out in right field. And the double play gets Carlos Carrasco out of the inning. So the Yankees flashing a little leather here in the top of the first. One hopper right on the money. Inning over.
This year, I'm trying to ace my college bets on FanDuel. So I'm
We are back, bottom of the first. Yankees coming up to the plate. Tonight's starting line brought to you by Sandals, made of Caribbean. It'll be Jazz Chisholm Jr. leading off, playing second base. Aaron Judge out in right field, batting second. Cody Bellinger in left, batting third. Ben Rice will clean up and be the DH. Anthony Volpe playing shortstop. The catcher, J.C. Escar. You see the numbers this spring, 357 with a couple of home runs. Trent Grisham out in center field. Dominic Smith playing first base, and Oswald Peraza playing third and batting ninth. And they are going to face the veteran right-hander Taijuan Walker. His numbers from last year started a bunch, ended up in the bullpen. The ERA was inflated at 7.10, and we'll check out the Hyundai pitcher scouting report on Walker.
Well, as a two-seam split guy, he does have a slider and a curveball and a cutter, but basically the two-seam splits his two most used pitches, 91, 92. He pitches to contact. He really doesn't strike out a lot of guys, about 8 per 9, a little under 8 per 9. And he's looking for a bounce-back season. You mentioned going back to the bullpen. He had a 7.10 ERA and only 83 2/3. 19 games, 15 of those were starts.
Yeah, and we'll see how it all plays out for Walker this spring. Fighting for a spot in that rotation, but the rotation seems to be a strength of the Phillies. And we know a lot of teams around baseball looking for starting pitching. Walker could be attractive at some point, maybe not now, maybe during the season.
Yeah, you mentioned the rotation. You have Wheeler, Nola, Sanchez, and Suarez, who both of those guys had really good years last year. Ranger Suarez a really good year. And Jesus Luzardo that they got from Miami will wind up being their 5th starter. Hasn't really thrown, only about a couple games this spring, but he'll be your 5th guy most likely. And Walker, he may be your swing guy. He might wind up going back to the bullpen and be one of those guys that can give you some length.
Well, we'll take a look at the Phillies defensively. We saw Clemens make that first play. It'll be Kepler in left, Castro in center, Stevenson in right, Arroyo at third, Sosa at short, Clemens at second, Kyle Schwarber at first, Stubbs behind the plate, and we've already detailed Walker out on the mound. So with one down, here's the captain of the New York Yankees, Aaron Judge, batting second. Big swing and a miss on a first pitch fastball. Aaron looking to get it going this spring. Nelly, you mentioned he has not had a whole lot of at-bats. His numbers from last year, the American League MVP, were outstanding, but still trying to find his swing at this point in spring training.
Yeah, it seems like he's pulling off the ball a lot. He's really susceptible to the breaking ball down and away. A lot of sliders. He's been swinging over the top. You know, here's an interesting, 13 ABs, and I know you can get back, backfield cuts, live BP, or maybe some simulated games, but to me there's nothing like regular. I mean, get in game action.
Absolutely.
That's where you need to see your ABs. That's where you need to see the rhythm. I don't know if they do this, but I know when we were playing, they used to send you guys over to the minor leagues. If you needed more ABs, you'd lead off every single inning for 9 innings. There's 9 ABs just to get that rhythm back.
Yeah. Obviously a different environment in the minor leagues, and I'm with you. Although this is a spring training game, you have the big league crowd here, and for Aaron Judge, I always felt like it wasn't the worst thing in the world to go through a little struggles early in spring training at the plate. So you kind of find those keys, or maybe the mechanics that will get you back on track, because during the year it's coming, right? You're going to go through a little struggle, and it was always good to know, okay, when I was struggling in spring, what got me going? What mechanical key? And you can always go back to it. 2-2 from Walker. Ball fouled off. I think that's what you're talking about right there, pulling off a little bit, right?
Covering the outside. Yeah. That's a good. I mean, there's some good hacks. He is fouling them back. Walker really doesn't have a nasty slider down and away.
Off the end of the bat. Fly ball to center field. Pretty routine play for Castro. 2 down.
That's a perfect example right there of everything away. Not one time did Walker ever come into Judge, and then that was a breaking ball down and away. They wound up hitting off the end of the bat.
Well, with Cody Bellinger coming up batting third, it's just perfect to continue this conversation. Aaron Judge hasn't found it yet. Cody Bellinger's been locked in from the first at bat of spring training. 464 batting average. Those are the numbers from last year. And he rockets this ball again down the right field line. That's going to be extra bases for Bellinger. His red-hot spring continues with a 2-out double.
Well, I think this is exactly what has to happen right behind Judge. You have Bellinger. You're going to have Goldschmidt. It's a pitch up in the zone. Just gets right on top of it and hits it right down the right field line. And to get off to a great start, have a good spring, take that confidence right into March 27, that's going to be key for these guys.
Well, 2 down to bring up the designated hitter, Ben Rice. Yankees love Rice in his at-bats. His batting average only 161 in the spring. He does have a home run. 50 games last year, 7 home runs, 23 RBIs. And it'll be interesting to see how it plays out for Ben Rice at the end of the spring, to see if he fits in with this ball club or has to go down in the minor leagues and continue his development.
Well, he can play first. He can be behind the plate. He can also DH.
Ball hammered to center field and hit hard. Castro on the move. He's not going to come up with this one. A 2-run shot for Ben Rice. Getting the designated hitter at bats tonight and cashing in 2-0 Yankees.
Well, that'll definitely help his cause. You keep hitting like that in spring. You know, we'll talk a little bit about, you hear maybe the third catcher that they may carry because of Ben Rice and where he can play. He gets a cutter that's up in the zone. There he stays back. Maybe out on his front foot just a little bit, but watch those hands stay back, and he absolutely drills this to right center field. 2-out, 2-run homer.
You know, Nelly, we know during spring training sometimes the wind is blowing out and there's some cheap home runs. There was nothing cheap about that one. Not a whole lot of wind tonight at Steinbrenner Field. Ben Rice just drilled that ball out to right center.
How much do you think the Rays are going to like playing here at their home field with the ball carrying as much as it does during the nighttime and in the summer? Outside ballpark.
Catcher challenging.
Well, we got a catcher's challenge here. Pitch was called a ball.
It is a ball, 2-0.
And it is a ball.
The one nice thing about this challenge, they each get 2. All they have to do is get one each side wrong, and we're done with it.
We're done. Well, you mentioned it. Every pitcher feels like every pitch they throw is going to be a strike. I would say a lot of catchers now with the new framing and bringing the ball back. I don't like it. And I was going to piggyback on what you said in the top of the first inning. I love the human part of the game with the umpires behind the plate and kind of establishing what is their strike zone tonight, and we would have to make adjustments to try to take advantage of that, or at least know what kind of a strike they were calling. Obviously that is out of the game now with the whole Quest Tech and how they get graded on balls and strikes, but I enjoyed the human element of it. Volpe underneath that one, skying that down the right field line. Stevenson's going to run out of room.
Well, Major League Baseball went down the first couple weeks of spring training, and they measured everyone to be able to get to this ABS. So if you're 6 foot, you have a 6-foot strike zone. No matter how much you slouch down and try to shrink your strike zone. And just like Anthony Volpe, you see him a little bent down, even though they're going to measure him, and his strike zone is at his height, not where he is squatting down in his stance.
Ground ball to shortstop. Sosa up with it. But Ben Rice, with 2 outs, got a cutter on a 2-0 count, and he did not miss it. He drills it right center field. 2-0 Bombers.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Extreme weather and climate disasters have sadly...
Dominate the field with the legendary capability of the Ford Bronco, official SUV of the New York Yankees. Visit your local Ford store for a test drive. Another beautiful night in the Tampa-St. Pete area. Friday night spring training baseball. Yankees lead this one 2-0. Top of the second. It'll be Cody Clemens leading off for the Phillies, followed by Garrett Stubbs and Christian Arroyo. Clemens, his numbers last year in 44 games. Obviously the son of the great Roger Clemens.
I think the last time Philadelphia was in Tampa, Roger and Cody exchanged lineup cards.
That was pretty cool.
Good to see Roger back in spring.
Clemens fouls off that slider, and the one thing we've seen early on in this one, Carrasco pitching behind in the count, and you mentioned, Nelly, doesn't have that overpowering stuff anymore. That might be a recipe for disaster, trying to get ahead in the count a little bit better the rest of this one.
Yeah, so important for that off speed that he needs to get that over for strikes. If he's not going to challenge guys with his fastball, that slider, the curveball, the changeup, that becomes even more important for him.
You know, it's such a fun night for a young catcher like J.C. Escarra behind the plate to work with a veteran like Carrasco, who doesn't have overpowering stuff. So you know you have to call off-speed pitches and fastball counts. You got to try to get in his mind about, does he like to go down and in? Does he like to go up and in? When does he like to change speeds? Good change up right there. Swing and a miss. One down here in the second.
Well, good changeup. This is supposed to be down and away. He pulled it just a little bit. It had the effectiveness because of that sink down.
Carrasco, veteran right-hander, pitched for the Cleveland Indians and New York Mets, now trying to make this Yankee roster as Garrett Stubbs pulls a first pitch foul.
And because he doesn't have the 95, the 90 to 90, that was at 93. He's got to hit his spots. He's got to move the ball in. You see him go inside on lefties. That'll open up that changeup or help that changeup down and away.
15 big league seasons, 2019 AL Comeback Player of the Year, 2019 Roberto Clemente Award winner. He's been through it all. He's battled through leukemia, known as one of the real good guys in this game. And the 1-1 to Stubbs, that misses off the plate away.
I mean, if he is he someone that the organization all of a sudden say, hey, you may not make the team, but hey, you're not going to use 5 starters. You used 8, 9, 10, maybe 12 starters during the year. Do you accept a minor league position and just wait? And I'm sure though, if that's the case, he'll probably have some kind of opt-out later in maybe around May or so. Say, hey, we can use you. We want you to stay in the organization.
2-2 fouled off. Well, I would assume at this point in spring training, when you have Luis Heels down, Garrett Cole's missing the whole year, this becomes an attractive place for somebody like Carrasco. To your point, if he doesn't make the club out of spring training, do you go to AAA, keep throwing, and see if an opportunity comes up? As he misses with that slider, Stubbs gets hit by the pitch. Looks like he's going to be all right.
Well, you see where Escar was setting up. He wanted that slider inside. That just got a little bit too far inside.
.29 pitches for Carrasco. With one down, it'll bring up Christian Arroyo. Trying to make this Philly team. Remember Arroyo from a few years ago playing for the Red Sox. Ground ball right back up the middle, out of the reach of Anthony Volpe. Stubbs around second, on his way to third. So the Phillies trying to answer here in the top of the second.
Yeah, it's going to go down as a base hit. It looked like that last hop just skipped over the glove of Volpe. I thought this was a double play ball right here, and that last hop, there you see it right there, just gets over top of his glove.
Well, to bring up the number 8 hitter, Cal Stevenson. So Carrasco was in some trouble in the first inning, got bailed out by his defense. Aaron Judge, a strong throw from right field to complete a double play. He's looking for a double play ground ball right here. Try to work his way out of trouble in the second. Stevenson playing right field tonight. $18 games last year. Phillies won the NL East last season. Were knocked out of the playoffs by the New York Mets. That ball hit well to left field. Bellinger settling underneath it. Stubbs will tag at third and will score. So a sacrifice fly for Stevenson. The Phillies on the board. 2-1 Yankees.
Tough play for Bellinger. You saw Judge throw out the runner in the first inning. Really tough for Bellinger, especially with that ball tailing more towards left field off the left-handed hitter Stevenson.
And we know Bellinger plays center field, playing left field tonight. He can sub in at first base if the Yankees need him. So an attractive player defensively with his versatility.
I don't think he's had an opportunity to play first base yet this spring.
Not this spring. Two down to be the number 9 hitter Castro. Carrasco quickly ahead 0-1 and drops that slider in there to get ahead 0-2.
I mean, you get a tough righty out on the mound. You want to give Goldschmidt a time off, a day off. Put Grisham out in center. Dominguez in left. You have Judge. You throw Bellinger over there at first base.
Well, we know the defensive side of the game was something the Yankees concentrated on this offseason. Bellinger, we just talked about his versatility, an above-average outfielder. Goldschmidt get the job done at first. And a swing and a miss to end the second inning. But the Phillies get on the board. They add a run. The Yankees lead this one 2-1. Welcome back to Yankee Spring Training, presented by your local Ford stores. Down the field with the legendary Ford Bronco, official SUV of the New York Yankees. Bottom of the second inning on our Ford scoreboard, it'll be J.C. Escarra, Trent Grisham, and Dominic Smith. As Walker misses with a big curveball.
Escarra's having a really nice spring. Couple home runs. Well over 300 average.
Fighting for that backup catcher spot. Rolls one over to the right side. Schwarber up to Walker. Nice play. One down here in the second.
When you take Jackson, Escara, and Rice, and just say, hey, all three of them are really good defensive catchers. Do you go more offense then, even though you have a left-handed starter as far as a hitting starter in Austin Wells? You have two lefties in Rice and Escara, and you have the righty Jackson. Which way do you go?
Well, I think it all starts with Austin Wells hitting from the left side, and you kind of make some decisions off of that, right? I mean, in a old school world, which you and I grew up in, you'd have a right-handed hitting backup catcher who could really catch and throw. And you wouldn't worry so much about the offensive part because Austin Wells should be taking care of that for you. But it's an interesting decision. Escara as a left-handed hitter is really swinging it, is on the roster, which makes it a whole lot easier for him to make this club. And you have somebody like Ben Rice that, to be quite honest with you, I haven't seen enough of him behind the plate. How much is he going to be catching if he does make this club? As Grisham rips this one to right field, that's going to find some grass. Stevenson comes up with it, and Trent Grisham in the second base, thrown out. Good throw by Stevenson out and right. Aggressive running from Grisham. 2 down.
Well, it's a hanging breaking ball. Nice job by Grisham staying back, smoking this down the right field line. Stevenson, good job picking that ball up. A one-hop throw. Might want to challenge that during the regular season. He might have got in there, but was called out.
2 down to bring up Dom Smith. Smith playing first base tonight, enjoying a good spring training. Again, trying to make this Yankee club. Giancarlo Stanton, we know he's going to miss a lot of time. And Smith hits one hard to the right side. Schwarber up with it to Walker. But Kyle Schwarber, usually the DH for the Phillies, showing off some leather at first base. Yankees lead this one 2-1. We'll be back for the third.
Over the years, you've built equity in your home. And over the years, life happens. And through life's ups and downs and ups again, when you need money for some of life's necessities, now your home can pay you back. Let us show you how you can access $45,000 or more. Give us a call or visit us online at loandepot.com today.
You know I got the spirit, knock it out the park, knock it out the spirit of the game, knock it out the park, knock it out the you know I got the spirit, knock it out the park, knock it out the spirit of the game. The catch was through, not in time.
Today we went to the beach, and it was...
Welcome back to Yankee Spring Training, presented by your local Ford dealers. Dominate the field with legendary Bronco, official SUV of the New York Yankees. Kyle Schwarber leading off the top of the third. Walked in the first inning, a 148 batting average this spring, a home run, 5 RBIs, pulls that one foul.
Maybe foul in the Yankee dugout.
With a foul ball as Carrasco quickly ahead 1-2. Well, there is the smoke from SpaceX Crew 10. They're en route to the International Space Station, launched from Kennedy a few minutes ago. And 4 astronauts are scheduled to make that trip to the International Space Station later this evening. Assuming that everything goes well, the astronauts are expected to arrive at the station on Saturday night. Now, 2 of the astronauts, Ann McClain and Nicole Ayers, will stay on the International Space Station, and Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams, who arrived there last June, are going to be coming home. If everything goes well, finally going to be coming home. So we wish everybody well on that mission and safety.
Also, there's an astronaut from Japan and Russia that is on that SpaceX.
Carrasco's given up 1 run on 2 hits, tries to go for a backdoor curveball, doesn't hit the spot.
Imagine being, I don't know, is it stuck up in space since June? I mean, I have a hard time being in the same room with you for like 2.5, 3 hours. Imagine.
I was going to bring this up, and I'm glad you did bring this up, as that 2-seam fastball clips the inside corner, first out here in the 3rd. You know, we haven't seen each other all offseason. Yesterday, we sat next to each other for 4 hours of the Yes Network meetings, the seminar. And we seemed to get along well for 4 hours.
That worked.
And then we hooked up last night at the Thurman Munson Awards in New York City.
Which I don't know if anybody knew we were there.
I don't think that they knew we were there because we didn't get announced. But we had a wonderful time seeing Diana Munson, the money raised for the AHRC, and both.
Are you trying to say maybe we could get stuck in space together for almost a year?
Then now you got to spend a couple hours with me during this game. But this
there you go.
Memorable moment by Prevagen last night. I was honored to present Hideki Matsui with his Thurman Munson Award. You presented Doc Gooden with his Thurman Munson Award. So,
and I don't know if the crowd knew who we were.
We did not get announced. No. We just walked up on stage and
I think they introduced like 4 or 5 people, and they missed you, myself, Harry Carson.
Yeah,
I missed him.
But one of the highlights for me, I don't know how you felt about this. Obviously, seeing Diana Munson is a thrill at Old Timers Day.
I don't know if she ages.
She looked great last night, and all the money raised for AHRC. But Hideki Matsui gets up there and delivers a speech speaking English, which all of the years that I've been with Hideki, you know, he speaks English in the clubhouse, and you can have, you know, not a problem, but was always very, very guarded on not speaking English to the media. So
he
nailed it last night.
Yeah, he was great.
He did a great job.
You know, Ichiro's the same way. Ichiro speaks very good English, but they have the, you know, hey, I don't understand English when the reporters come up and start talking to him.
But I guess the bottom line is you and I have spent a lot of time over the last day and a half. Easy play for Volpe, 2 down. But I don't know if we can spend time on an International Space Station
for almost a year.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be good.
Yeah, that probably would not work. Well, we're not going to see each other for a while anyway.
I'll see you in Colorado.
Yes, in May. It'll be just you and I, too.
2 quick outs for Carlos Carrasco. Pitch count now up to 50. And he'll be facing Max Kepler, who doubled in the 1st inning.
Last time we were in Colorado,
well, Carrasco thought it was 3 outs, a little bit too early heading into that dugout. My bad.
Last time we were in Colorado, your favorite singer was playing at the Broncos Stadium. Swifty.
That was Mike Medvin, our producer's favorite singer.
Yeah, the Yankees and Swifty all in the same area in Denver, Colorado.
And we got stuck with an extra inning game on that Sunday.
Right.
A tough loss for the Yankees.
Missed our flight.
So let's hope for a little smoother 3 games in Colorado this year. Kepler last year with the Minnesota Twins, 253 with 8 home runs. Kind of a player that you're waiting to break out and have a big year. A good two-seamer again from Carrasco on the inner half, and a 1-2-3 third inning for the veteran right-hander. You start it off the plate, it moves inside, clips the corner, swing and a miss, 2-1 Bombers. Hey fans, watch MLB.tv and stream more than 250 spring training games and every market game live or on demand. Plus stream MLB Network 24/7 for the entire season. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Bottom of the third inning, Oswald Peraza leading off, and we're going to bring in Jack Curry. And as I watch Peraza stepping to the plate, Jack, I'm thinking about all the roster decisions that have to get made here with about 2 weeks left in spring training.
I think that's what we're all thinking about, Flash, and you and Nelly covered some of it in the previous inning. But when Aaron Boone was asked before today's game, when would he like to have his roster set? It's 13 days until opening day, and Peraza lines out to center field there. He said it's going to be late. He said it's not only figuring out those final positions, but it's about the layers involved. And I think Nelly hit on this earlier. Someone like Ben Rice, I think he's going to be the DH against right-handed pitchers, but he also gives you that luxury of being a third catcher. Now, when you look at what the Yankees have done with their catchers this spring, I always learned as a reporter, sometimes teams are telling you the answers with their actions. And if you count tonight, and we're going to see Jazz fly out to left field here. If you count tonight, guys, the plate appearance he had tonight, Oscar's had 31 plate appearances. Alex Jackson's only had 15. I think the Yankees are sending a message there. Spoke to 2 Yankee executives today. They were very high on Oscar.
Well, there's your answer right there. It really doesn't matter if they're going to go 2 lefty catchers, and sometimes they'll go like you mentioned earlier, Flash, a righty and a lefty. When you're left-handed, when your starter's a left-hander, you usually sometimes go with that right-handed complement. So that really doesn't matter too much then.
2 down brings up Aaron Judge, 0 for 1. Well, Oscar really is an incredible story, Jack. I mean, reading about his background, an Uber driver, played in the independent leagues, and those are the kind of kids that I pull for to have success, because they've shown how much they really want it. As Judge hits this ball to shortstop, we'll get back to that next inning as Sosa comes up with it. An easy 1-2-3 inning for Walker as he retires the side. We'll be back for the 4th.
And the New York Yankees set the field.
Over the years, you've built equity in your home. And when you need money for life's necessities, your home can pay you back. Let us show you how you could access $45,000 or more. Visit us online at loandepot.com today.
Why are we walking so slowly?
It makes this scene feel more cinematic.
I get that. It's just maybe not the best time to walk in slow motion.
It's the only time to walk in slow motion.
A real meal deserves a real dessert, like the DQ $7 meal deal with your choice of all this for just $7. Because a full-size meal without that satisfying sweet treat, that's like chicken strips with no dip, like a burger with no bun, like a sundae with no drizzle. Whether you go for chicken strips or a cheeseburger, treat yourself to an honest-to-goodness meal with full-size fries, a drink, and dessert, all for just $7 a DQ.
ACE's new Yard RX program prescribes the best lawn care, specific to your yard's needs, delivered every season. Because when you want greener grass, less weeds, and fewer bugs, now you can get a personal prescription delivered to you from the helpful folks at ACE. You'll get everything you need at our best price each season, guaranteed. From our store to your front door, with service so good it's guaranteed.
ACE is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
We are back for the top of the fourth inning on our Tri-State Cadillac scoreboard. Yankees lead this one 2-1, and the top of the fourth is always the time we welcome the Yankee manager in, who gives us a half an inning here to talk about things. Aaron Boone, how are you? It's John Flaherty and Jeff Nelson.
Hi, guys. How are you?
We're doing fantastic. Now, both Nelly and I lit up when we saw the Hall of Fame manager, Joe Torre, walk out to home plate and exchange the lineup. What does it mean for you having Skip in the building?
It matters a lot. It's I love it. You know, when we got him here last year, first day it took him a little bit to get into his uni. We slowly got him in uniform, and then once he did that and got out here for the game, he just started lighting up. I eventually got him making a pitching change, and I think he really, I think he loves it, which makes me really happy. It's great to have him here. All the guys from every generation kind of look to him too, and it's pretty exciting.
Now, there aren't too many men who have sat in the seat that you're sitting in right now, manager of the New York Yankees. I'm just curious, do you call Joe Torre during the year if maybe you need some advice on something? I mean, there's only, you know, a select number of people you can really call to get some advice on being the manager of the New York Yankees.
You're right. So every now and then I do. I try not to, you know, the good thing now is, you know, before he was the guy finding me, you know, working for, when I'd get kicked out of a game, he was coming down and he dropped the hammer on me a couple times. But now a little more where he'll pop in and, you know, once a month, you know, he'll pop in and be in Robbie's office, and then he usually comes and sits in my office. So to have him there, just to, because he does know exactly what I'm going through at any given moment in time, and not a lot of people can truly relate to that. To have him and to have him willing to just, you know, pour into you or just be there, whether it's to listen, whether it's to hear some advice, he certainly, you know, respects what you're going through.
Now, what about everybody else on the team having Joe Torre around? What do you have him do with some of the other players? Some of the other players, some of them probably don't even know or are not familiar with Joe Torre. Do they come up and ask him questions? You have him talk to the guys?
They do. So he's here till Wednesday. There have been times over the past where I've had him address our team in the locker room, like during the season, and that's super powerful. I try not to put too much of that on him, but guys will walk in. He'll sit in Robbie and Lou's office here, and guys will pass through and from every generation, and just it's great. We're all connected by this great game, and it's evolved and changed over the years, but you know, all the people that have worn the uniform can relate to one another on some level, and it's neat to see everyone from, you know, the reverence that, you know, the famous Yankees have, then the veteran Yankees in uniform now, even to the young guys, know who Joe Torre is. You don't have to explain it, and I find that to be common throughout our room.
Hey, Aaron, let's get to tonight's ball game, or I guess this point in spring training. 13 days left before opening day. We've been through this a million times. A lot of decisions have to be made between now and then. What are you seeing from the veteran right-hander Carrasco out on the mound?
Yeah. Ooh. All right, let's revisit that. I gotta go take him out right now.
61 pitches. Aaron Boone's going to make a pitching change. So after this, we will be back. Aaron Boone going to the bullpen. We'll be back.
Over the years, you've built equity in your home. And over the years, life happens. And through life's ups and downs and ups again, when you need money for some of life's necessities, now your home can pay you back. Let us show you how you can access $45,000 or more. Give us a call or visit us online at loandepot.com today.
A real meal deserves a real dessert, like the DQ $7 meal deal with your choice of all this for just $7. Because a full-size meal without that satisfying sweet treat, that's like chicken strips with no dip, like a burger with no bun, like a sundae with no drizzle. Whether you go for chicken strips or a cheeseburger, treat yourself to an honest-to-goodness meal with full-size fries, a drink, and dessert, all for just $7 a DQ.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Did the little piggy cry wee, wee, wee all the way home?
Max. Maxwell!
Yeah?
You're home.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Mrs. A.
Switch and save. Get more with Geico.
Welcome back to Yankee Spring Training, presented by your local Ford store. Dominate the field with the legendary Ford Bronco, official SUV of the New York Yankees. Pitching change, Luke Weaver taking over for Carlos Carrasco. Aaron Boone, the manager of the Yankees, rejoining us. And Aaron, before you had to make that pitching change, you were going to make a few comments on Carlos Carrasco.
Yeah, he's looked really good. I thought tonight was another good night for him. You know, you see the swing and miss there that he's getting. It was the same way as last time out across the state when we were playing the Cardinals over in Jupiter. It's been a good build for him. I feel like there's been probably a tick more power there than maybe he had last year. But it's been a really good camp for him. You know, I think he came in a really good place mentally and physically, and the build-up's gone really smoothly, and he's put himself right in the middle of the conversation.
Now you have Winans and also Carrasco not on the roster. You have Warren that is on the roster. Does that matter? Do you rather go to someone that maybe has a little bit more experience at the back end?
Yeah, we'll see.
Or do you like the young guys?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you know, ultimately, you know, at the end of that's a catch. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we want to, you know, we want the best guys, you know, and we got to make those calls. But within that, there's always roster considerations to make, and, you know, things will happen here over the next week and 10 days leading into the season that impact different decisions a little bit from every camp. You know, every team has different guys with opt-outs and all that. So we'll see. We'll see how the next week unfolds, and there's still more time here to try and make the best decision possible.
Well, one of the decisions that you've already made as an organization, Carlos Rodon will take the ball on opening day. And when I heard that decision, I was thinking how far this guy has come from a rocky first year to an outstanding second year. Now he's going to be your opening day starter.
Yeah, I'm excited for him. He's ready for it. You know, he's, again, you know, I think put together, you know, after, like you said, a really difficult 23 season and ending on a real low note, like the offseason he had building in through spring training and all through the season last year, and then even into the playoffs. I felt like he even grew even more in the playoffs and getting that experience under his belt as well. All things that hopefully serve him well, you know, as you get ready for an opening day start. But, you know, at the same time, it's one of hopefully about 33 regular season starts, 30 plus, and but he's ready for it. His build-up's gone well, and feel like hopefully he can get us off on a good note.
Well, hopefully we can get this in. What have you seen from Aaron Judge so far this spring?
I actually like where he's at. I know he hasn't gotten any results. And, you know, he's still kind of working through his swing mechanically, and you know how he's going to have his hands, and you know all things that guys like him have that freedom to tinker with, especially when you're healthy and you're getting regular reps, and like he does on the backfield with live at bats. Experiment with different things, trying to get him into the right place. But I like where he's at physically. I think he looks really good to me. He's moving. I mean, that play, sneaky, awesome play with the sun, dealing with that, and then getting that throw off in the first. I like where the captain's at. He should be in a good pace to roll into opening day.
Well, we thank you again, Aaron Boone, for some of your time. Luke Weaver finishes up the fourth inning. The Yankees lead 2-1. Tonight's injury report is brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. And Garrett Cole underwent successful Tommy John surgery on Tuesday, a full UCL reconstruction with an internal brace. He will miss the entire 2025 season.
Yeah, and that internal brace is a new thing they've been doing over the last couple of years, and it's just it's a piece of material that goes over the UCL to protect it, and also it's supposed to prevent further damage and keep that more intact. So you see a lot of guys now that are having multiple Tommy Johns, and hopefully that prevents them from, okay, this is it. We're going to put that internal brace, repair the UCL and not have that happen again.
Well, Jack Curry has some more information on Garrett Cole and maybe when he might rejoin this team, Jack.
Yeah, guys, Aaron Boone discussed Garrett Cole's situation. He said he hasn't spoken to him, but they've exchanged some texts. He did say that Cole will return to spring training. So in terms of missing Cole on the field, obviously we all can't sugarcoat that. The Yankees have talked about what his absence will mean, but also you're going to get him back in the dugout, and as Bellinger takes that walk, we know how active he is in the dugout. We know how much he sees, and essentially, as some of his teammates have said, you're probably going to have an extra pitching coach in the dugout in Garrett Cole.
Well, I can't imagine somebody like Garrett Cole missing a full year, but I guess the good news is you get him back in the dugout, you get him working with some of the pitchers, and it might help him mentally, Nelly, with the rehab.
Well, look at last year and what he meant to when he was out the first couple months. Clark Schmidt was all over him. I mean, that's all you saw. When Cole was in the dugout and they flashed over there, Clark Schmidt was right next to him. I'm sure Max Fried, Rodon, I mean, every time that somebody came out from their outing, he's right there meeting them, along with Matt Blake. So he gives you a lot. I mean, he's a very cerebral guy. He's a very smart guy out on the mound. He picks up things while he's in that dugout when he's watching. He's not someone that's, messing around, throwing seeds all over the place. And, I mean, he's watching the game every single inning, every single pitch. So, just to have him around is huge.
1-0 to Ben Rice, who had a 2-run home run in the first inning. He lines this one to right field. That's going to be a base hit. Yankees set up here in the 4th inning. First and second, nobody out.
Well, guys, one last thought on Cole. Nelly, what you just brought up. Cole, in his introductory press conference this spring, said that when he was injured last year, he learned a few things about the nuances of the game and being a teammate and being supportive, and just something as simple as, hey, how's your day going, to a teammate who maybe was in a little bit of a slump. And I found that very interesting, and you two guys have been in those clubhouses and those dugouts, but Cole said that by being injured, he learned a lot about his teammates and about making sure that he was there for them.
Jack, it's a great point, because Nelly and I can talk about it. When you get going during a championship season, your whole world revolves around how you're performing. If you're struggling, if you're successful, you're not really worried about the guy next to you. You're worried about your game. So it's an interesting perspective from Garrett Cole.
Yeah, and on the other hand, if you look at the championship teams, we were in the World Series in '03. You know, we were, and I was blessed enough to play in 4 of them before that. When you have world championship teams, everybody pulls together, and everybody, you know, you have a job to do. Everybody has it. It's sometimes an individual sport where you're on the mound, I'm on the mound, you're behind the plate. Hey, that's your individual position, your time at the plate, when you're hitting. But altogether, you're a team. And when somebody's struggling on the field or struggling on the mound, then that's an important piece. You want to try to lift them up. And we had a lot of players that try to lift each other up. I mean, if a Jeter was struggling, or Mariano might have, you know, one time in his 20 years that he messed up, you know, but you know, you go and you pull them through, and like Roger Clemens or Andy Pettit at El Duque, if they have a rough start, because that's going to happen, you know, everybody pulls together and try to pull them through, because they're such an important piece. And I think that's one of the reasons why we were such a close team, because we didn't have the individuals. We had guys that you know, you never wanted to see someone struggle, because it's a tough game. And when somebody struggles, then your team winds up struggling. So it's nice that, you know, I don't know if it's any more individual now than it was when we played. Right. Or, you know, I don't know what that's like in the dugout now. If they're just saying, hey, I got a job to do, I'm really not going to worry about anybody else. If you struggle, hey, you got to take care of yourself. I got to take care of my own backyard. But I think championship teams, everybody pulls on the same side.
A swing and a miss on a split finger from Walker. One down here in the 4th inning. And it'll bring up the catcher, J.C. Escarra, who had a ground ball to the right side his first at bat.
I think maybe what Cole's maybe getting to is that he's noted when he was out and he was able to watch the game and watch guys pitch. Maybe he noticed a little more, whether it's mechanical or pitch sequences from some of the other pitchers that maybe he would not notice when he was active.
Fly ball to left field. Kepler can't come up with it, but it'll be an easy force out at third for the second out of the inning. I don't know if Kepler had a little trouble with the lights or the high sky in Tampa.
Yeah, there's no sun. Usually those guys in the outfield have a hard time. He just didn't close the glove. He clanked it. It almost looked like he put his glove in front of his eyes and blocked himself out from the baseball.
It'll be interesting when the Rays play their regular season games at Steinbrenner Field, how some of the outfielders react with the lights that just are a little bit different from what major leaguers are used to.
And also the foul territory. The foul territory there is very small, especially down the lines. And even by the dugouts, a lot of balls maybe during the season in a major league ballpark are outs. They're not going to be outs. They're going to be foul balls there in Tampa. You know what was interesting? And I asked Trent Grisham about the way he holds the bat. And if you notice, he has that thumb, that left thumb that goes up the bat handle. And I said, where did you learn that? And he learned it when he was young, and he just carried it the whole way. You know, you as a hitter, you know, you never really see that. I don't know if get a good look at that thumb, that left thumb that goes up the bat. How difficult is that? And have you seen that before?
I haven't seen it before. He has that axe handle grip at the bottom of the bat on the knob, and There's that right hand with the thumb that you're talking about. Smothers it with his left, and whatever he's doing, Nelly, it's working. He's having a good spring, hitting the ball hard, couple of home runs, has a base hit in this one.
You would think if you got jammed or if you hit one off the end of the bat,
you're going to feel it.
Yeah.
It's always interesting for the backup players as this ball hit hard to the right side. Schwarber up with it over to Walker. So Yankees had something going, first and second, nobody out, but they strand a couple as Walker worked his way out of trouble.
A real meal deserves a real dessert, like the DQ $7 meal deal. With a cheeseburger or 3-piece chicken strips, full-size fries, a drink, and a sundae. You get an honest-to-goodness full meal, all for just $7 at DQ.
Over the years, you've built equity in your home. And over the years, life happens. And through life's ups and downs and ups again, when you need money for some of life's necessities, now your home can pay you back. Let us show you how you can access $45,000 or more. Give us a call or visit us online at loandepot.com today.
Even a game as timeless as baseball must evolve. Only you can control your journey's evolution.
That's a base hit.
It's a whole new ballgame. How will your journey evolve?
When choosing the right gear to cut, trim, or mow your yard, Ace has all the power you need to get the job done right. Because gas or battery, your local Ace is the destination with the best power brands all under one roof, like Steel, Ego, Milwaukee, and Toro. And with free assembly and delivery or ready for pickup in 15 minutes. Conquering your outdoor projects has never been easier. Around the block, what you need in stock, with service so good it's guaranteed.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Well, let's take a look at the Citizens' upcoming schedule for New York Yankees. We'll have the Tampa Bay Rays tomorrow, the Pittsburgh Pirates on Sunday. That game will be on Yes. And then you see the schedule for the following week. Yankee spring training winding down, getting ready for opening day, less than 2 weeks away. And talking about opening day, Aaron Boone mentioned he tabbed Carlos Rodon as the opening day starter, and our Jack Curry was able to catch up with Carlos.
That you're going to be the opening day starter for the Yankees this year. Just your reaction to that news?
Yeah, just an honor. Just excited. Just want to go out there and win the game.
You started opening day for the White Sox in 2019, so you have some experience in that role. What will you take from what you did 6 years ago into this year?
Honestly, it's just the first game of the season, and it's another baseball game.
Is that part of dealing with it, though, not putting extra pressure?
Yeah, it's just one of those things where take it like another game, and it just so happens to be the first game of the year.
Boone was very complimentary about the pitcher that you were last year. And not just fastball, slider. He talked about the curveball and the changeup. What would you say about the journey you took as a pitcher last year?
Yeah, it was quite the journey for sure. Some ups and downs. You just had to change up the mix a little bit and rely on some off speed and have a little more pitchability for sure.
Thank you very much, Jack, and thank you, Carlos. Congratulations on that honor of starting opening day for the New York Yankees. And it's trying to downplay it, Nelly, but it's a pretty big deal when you start the opener at Yankee Stadium.
I would think, and you wonder if he's lined up for Game 5 as well because of the off day. But absolutely, when Garrett Cole and you have Max Fried just wasn't lined up because of the way they're going every 5th day in spring training to be able to pitch opening day. Carlos Rodon had a bounce-back year. He really struggled his first year as a Yankee. Only had 14 starts. He was injured. Last year, 32 starts. That was the most in his career. 175 innings. You would like to see that maybe go up. Him get deeper into the ball game. But it's definitely an honor. I don't care what team you're on. It's an honor to throw opening day. You're leading it off. And You know, let's see what kind of year he has. Maybe the beard helps. You know, he hasn't had the beard the last couple of years. You know, maybe that'll be a difference maker.
Well, Nelly, you and I know we've been through plenty of opening days as players, and there's no doubt you're jacked up. I mean, you're excited about that first at bat. You're excited about that first appearance coming out of the bullpen. So we'll see how he handles his emotions as new pitcher for the Yankees, Alan Winans, in the game, and a first walk here to start off the 5th inning for the Phillies.
It is. You want that first one out of the way. You know, you go through spring training, whether you have good numbers or you don't have good numbers, you prepare yourself for March 27th, and you get that first one out of the way, that first inning. You know, hopefully you get that first W. I mean, you look at last year, I'm sure. I mean, he had a 3.96 ERA. I'm sure these pitchers nowadays still look at numbers and say, hey, man, I want my ERA under 4. You know, that's always one of those marks for a pitcher. You don't want to see your ERA under 4, over 4, and he did that last year. So, you know, a good bounce back year, and hopefully he can repeat.
Well, we know that Carlos is an emotional pitcher. We saw it last year during the postseason where he got off to a great start, striking out a bunch of hitters, and you can see his energy off the mound, and he kind of learned a lesson in that game. It got away from him quickly. So I'm interested to see how he handles the opening day start, and he's come a long way in his Yankee career to deserve it. So good for him.
He was someone last year that I watched that I always felt from the left side. You know, he's got the 4-seamer upstairs and he's got his slider. Everything to a right-handed hitter was in. He really didn't have that pitch down and away. I saw the changeup, and he has a really good changeup. Yep. And that's what a pitcher needs. You need something that goes to both sides of the plate. If you're facing a righty, right here, say Castro, and you're a left-handed pitcher, you just can't constantly pound. You need to get something away, and I thought he used his changeup really well last year, and that's going to be a big pitch for him.
Yeah, talking about a changeup, a good one there from Winans to get the first out here in the 5th, swing and a miss.
Well, Winans throws a lot of changeups. That's his most used pitch. He threw that pitch 41% of the time last year. He does have a fastball, not overpowering. About 88 to 89, also has that slider. Pitched a couple years with the Braves, briefly in 23, and also last year he had 8 starts. Another guy in that mix for that rotational spot. Again, you know, these guys go down, whether they break camp with the team or if they go down, they're going to be used at some point during the year.
Kyle Schwarber up for his 3rd at bat. He walked in the 1st. He struck out in the 3rd. And you look at the Phillies last year winning the National League East, and they mashed all year long, but then all of a sudden in the playoffs against the New York Mets, they struggled offensively and were quickly knocked out. So they're looking to rebound, trying to get where they want to go this year.
I think Major League Baseball got a break because it always was one of those when they started adding those extra teams in the playoffs, that the 2 teams that got a bye, I think out of the 11 teams, there were only 2 or 3 that advanced past the first round.
Play by Smith, but that's going to hit Stevenson in the back. And he will cruise on his way to 3rd base. So Smith made a nice play fielding it, took the out at 1st. And then the errant throw brings Stevenson to 3rd with 2 down.
Now, it's a nice job, and the runner it's always told to try to run in the throwing lane, and there you see how he goes back, hits him right off of that helmet.
Yeah, you would have liked to see Dom Smith kind of give himself some room to the inside part of the field to get a good throwing lane.
But you looked at that playoff scenario, and a lot of the teams that had that break didn't advance, lost in that first round. The Phillies have been there. Last year you had 2 teams with the Dodgers and the Yankees. They wound up going to the World Series.
Rojas tries to lay down a 2-out bunt, bunts it foul.
And I don't know if there's an answer. I don't know if there's an answer for that, because, you know, as baseball players, you're playing 162 games. You very rarely get a day off. You don't like a break.
Yeah.
Especially a lengthy break. You know, you look at in '96, we won in the ALCS, and we almost had a week before we played the Braves. We got boat raced the first 2 games.
Yeah.
Because of that lengthy break. You can't simulate game action. I mean, you're just going through the motions. You can face live pitching. You can sit there and throw on the side, but it's not
the same.
No.
It's not the same. I know facing pitchers in a live BP situation, mentally you're not competing like you would be during a game. So it's completely different. Rojas 0 for 2. Winans trying to work his way through the 5th inning. And here comes the 0-2. Goes off speed again. Curveball. Fly ball to center field. Grisham just makes it look easy, cruising underneath that one. So a shutout top of the 5th inning for Winans. We will be back for the bottom half.
Touches. Over the years, you've built equity in your home. And over the years, life happens. And through life's ups and downs and ups again, when you need money for some of life's necessities, now your home can pay you back. Let us show you how you can access $45,000 or more. Give us a call or visit us online at loandepot.com today.
Now and then, you need to stop and smell the roses. Or the leaves, rocks, trees, sticks, and that one tree again. Stay 2 nights, get a $50 Best Western gift card.
Position. Our guy could flat play defense on another level.
Oh, wow. Oh, man.
He's got good hands, good balance at the plate, hits the ball to all field.
How about that, Ezekiel Tovar?
The Yankees spring training on Yes is presented by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. 2-1 Yankees, bottom of the 5th. John Flaherty, Jeff Nelson, Jack Curry. Thanks for hanging in there with us on a Friday night of spring training baseball. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Bombers. Dom Smith, Oswald Peraza, and Jazz Chisholm, top of the order. Facing a new right-hander for the Philadelphia Phillies, Jose Ruiz. Numbers last year in 52 games.
Yeah, called up in May. Yeah, they've added a little bit to their pitching. Last year they acquired Colzer Estevez from the Angels. He had 6 saves to help out that bullpen, and Jordan Romano is now a Philly.
See if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, had a tough year last year with the health, but in 22 and 23 had 36 saves in each of those seasons for the Blue Jays. They lost Hoffman, Jeff Hoffman, to the Blue Jays. One of their big relievers out of that bullpen for the Phillies last year.
Well, Dom Smith in the driver's seat, 3-1 count, hit a hard ball to the right side his first at bat, having a good spring. Rolls over on a 4-seam fastball. Well, we know Giancarlo Stanton has the tennis elbow in both elbows. We learned that he's got a little calf problem as well. We'll see when he comes back to the lineup as Dom Smith slaps one the other way. It'll be a leadoff base runner here in the bottom of the 5th for the Yankees. Fans, the Yes app has moved to the Gotham Sports app, your new home for streaming live, Yankees, Nets, and more, free with an eligible TV subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now and sign in with your existing Yes app, your username and your password, or visit gothamsports.com to get streaming. to bring up the number 9 hitter, Oswald Peraza, playing third base tonight. Lined out in the 3rd inning, batting average of .214 this spring. That'll be a ground ball to short. See if they can turn 2, 6, 4, 3. Just a little too late. Peraza gets down the line well.
Well, Peraza, no doubt, that can field. He's a great defensive player. It's the bat that's the concerning part. Here's a little ground ball, and he can run. It'd be interesting if he tries to make something happen on those bases. Maybe try to swipe second, get into scoring position.
One down, back to the top of the lineup, Jazz Chisholm. Leading off tonight, but what we've seen during spring training, Austin Wells hitting lead off a lot. We'll see if Aaron Boone decides to stick with that. Jazz trying to get it going here in spring. Raza on the move, Stubbs with the throw, and it is right on the money. So 2 down here in the 5th inning. Great throw.
There you see Peraza, not a really big jump, not a big lead. And this throw was right there. Perfect.
As Chisholm hits this ball hard to right field. But Stevenson went back a few steps, able to come back in and make the play. So Ruiz able to work his way out of trouble. 2-1 Bombers.
Over the years, you've built equity in your home. And when you need money for life's necessities, your home can pay you back. Let us show you how you could access $45,000 or more. Visit us online at loandepot.com today.
Jr. is an absolute superstar in the making.
I've never seen anything like him.
He's one of the best players in baseball.
Highlight reel play, Bobby Witt Jr.
That's why we call him Bobby Baseball.
He is a generational talent.
I want to win a World Series. I want to do it in Kansas City.
This guy is the cream of the crop right now.
Sensational again!
It is crazy, wiry, athletic pop that's only going to get better.
You know I got the spirit, knock it out the park, knock it out the spirit of the game, knock it out the park, knock it out. You know I got the spirit, knock it out the park, knock it out the spirit of the game. The catch was thrown, not in time.
Shohei Ohtani has changed the way we view what a baseball player can be.
Meeting the moment. The most gifted baseball player we've ever seen.
He's a unicorn.
Number 40 for Shohei.
Max Kepler leading off for the Phillies here in the 6th on our Audi scoreboard. 2-1 Yankees. And with all the injuries, Nelly, this spring, there's been a lot of bad news around the Yankees. But our Jack Curry always brings the positive, happy news. So, Jack, we need some good news tonight. What do you got?
All right, Flash, we're going from the sports pages to the society pages. Oswaldo Cabrera got engaged on Wednesday night. His future wife is named Ari. Spoke to him today about it. He just had a big smile on his face, said everything is wonderful. If you scour social media, you'll probably be able to find a picture. There it is. Look at that setup, guys. He's down on the 1D, which you have to be. There's roses everywhere. If you look in the background, "Will you marry me?" in white. So Oswaldo Cabrera doing it right. Congratulations.
A leadoff walk here from Max Kepler, but I got to give Oswaldo Cabrera a little bit of props. I mean, that's big league right there. There's a lot of thought and effort that went into that.
And he is such a great guy. You know, I got to know him a little bit last year, and even in the wintertime when, you know, on this Yankee cruise thing. A terrific person. And good for him.
In all seriousness, yes. Congratulations to the happy couple, and wish you all the best.
Just because it didn't work out for Flash doesn't mean it can't work out for others.
Well, we did 4 hours in meetings yesterday, a charity event last night, and we made it to the 6th inning without shots being fired.
It's all right, I topped you by one.
There's a ground ball to the left side. Peraza comes up with it, takes the out at second. Chisholm with a good turn to complete the double play. Didn't think they had any chance right there, but a quick, strong throw from Jazz Chisholm.
Yeah, really nice. And this wasn't hit that hard. There you see, not a strong throw from Peraza just to get that lead runner, but a really quick turn. Pitcher's best friend with that double play.
Well, we saw Jazz playing third base a lot last year, but middle of the infield is where he's comfortable, and he just showed it off right there. Cody Clemens with 2 down takes a first pitch curveball for a strike.
Well, he came up as a shortstop in the Marlin organization. They felt that wasn't a great place for him. They already had someone at second. They moved him out to center. He could play the outfield a little bit, but I think his best position could be second base.
Clemens rolls over. Be a lot easier play for Chisholm right there, and a nice inning for Alan Wines, getting some soft contact. We'll be back for the bottom of the 6th.
Over the years, you've built equity in your home. And over the years, life happens. And through life's ups and downs and ups again, when you need money for some of life's necessities, now your home can pay you back. Let us show you how you can access $45,000 or more. Give us a call or visit us online at loandepot.com today.
A real meal deserves a real dessert, like the DQ $7 meal deal with your choice of all this for just $7. Because a full-size meal without that satisfying sweet treat, that's like chicken strips with no dip. Like a burger with no bun. Like a sundae with no drizzle. Whether you go for chicken strips or a cheeseburger, treat yourself to an honest-to-goodness meal with full-size fries, a drink, and dessert, all for just $7 a DQ.
When choosing the right gear to cut, trim, or mow your yard, Ace has all the power you need to get the job done right. Because gas or battery, your local Ace is the destination with the best power brands all under one roof, like Steel, Ego, Milwaukee, and Toro. And with free assembly and delivery or ready for pickup in 15 minutes, conquering your outdoor projects has never been easier. Around the block, what you need in stock, with service so good it's guaranteed.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Welcome back to Yankee Spring Training, presented by your local Ford stores. Dominate the field with the legendary Ford Bronco, the official SUV of the New York Yankees. Well, become a Yankee Universe member today. Members enjoy exclusive benefits, including 2 tickets to a select 2025 Yankees regular season home game, fast-track entry into Yankee Stadium, and much more. Become an Explorer or Rookie Universe Yankees Universe member today. Visit yankees.com/universe. Bottom of the 6th inning, the Yankees lead 2-1. Ben Rice responsible for the 2 Yankee runs, a home run in the first inning. Aaron Judge will come up for his 3rd at bat. Aaron 0 for 2 so far tonight, and facing a new right-handed pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies.
It's Joe Ross, a new addition to the Philadelphia Phillies, acquired in the winter.
Came over from the Brewers, so in addition to that Philly bullpen. The numbers last year: 10 starts, 25 appearances, a good ERA at 3.77. Signed a one-year deal with the Phillies.
Well, it's really not a bad way to go, because if you look at the rotation where we talked about last year for the Phillies with Wheeler, Nola, you have Sanchez and Suarez and a new addition of Jesus Luzardo. You have Walker and Ross, who are long guys. They can swing if they need a rotational help if somebody gets hurt. But especially early, when their pitch count's not as high as it should be, when you're not at 100 pitches or 110 pitches, you have these guys can back you right up.
Now, you're a guy who saw a lot of Luzardo, right? How do you think he's going to transition in Philly?
That's going to be interesting. I didn't see him as a high-pressure guy in somewhere in places where, you know, the Philly fans are not.
Philly market's tough.
Yeah, it's a tough market. Might be tougher than New York.
Well, hit right back up the middle. That gets out of the way of Sosa, so a leadoff base hit. The bottom of the 6th inning for Aaron Judge.
I think Luzardo has really good stuff. He has a big-time fastball. It's just a matter of pitching in high-pressure situations. I mean, Miami, they really never had successful years when he was there, so we'll see.
That'll be interesting. And Jack, I know you have some information on what the Yankees have been up to down in Tampa during spring training.
Flash, today was the New York Yankees luncheon to benefit the Boys and Girls Club of Tampa Bay. It was held at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. We pretty much had the entire roster there, but the headline of this effort is the fact that $400,000 was raised for the Boys and Girls Club. Hal Steinbrenner, the managing general partner, was there, general manager Brian Cashman, manager Aaron Boone, and just to be able to see all of the people we were going to see, and one out on the bases there as the return throw was errant, just to see how many youngsters have been impacted and will continue to be impacted. It's something that the Yankees have been connected with for a long time, and just a wonderful event that raised a lot of money for a great cause.
Yeah, good stuff, Jack. Both Nelly and I have been involved in that the years.
Every year.
Yeah, every year that we were players with the Yankees, and a great day for the Boys and Girls Club. We know it's important to the Steinbrenner family, the Yankee organization, and $400,000, that's big time.
And Flash, I had the opportunity towards the end of the event to do a Q&A with some of the players, so I'm going to quiz you guys, and it's related to Aaron Judge, who we just saw get that single to center field. I said to him, if you could be an athlete in another sport for one day, what sport are you picking and which athlete are you picking? You guys have an idea. Where are you going?
My first thought is a tight end for an NFL team.
Nelly, what do you got?
I would go basketball.
So you guys, LeBron. You guys are thinking the way that I was thinking. I think Aaron was thinking a little differently, and that he works very hard in baseball. He went with golf and Scotty Scheffler.
Really?
Wow. Does he play golf?
Nelly, I had to move to the next interview. I had to go to Bellinger.
Back that up.
Hey, whoa. We just did our Yes Network meetings, and Jack did a little seminar on how to conduct an interview. Yes. And he said you have to follow up on little nuggets. How can you not follow up on that?
That's a big nugget right there.
I had a time constraint. I was on deadline. I had to get to Bellinger and Max Fried as the umpire just gets clipped there. So good point by you guys, but I had to move on to the next subject.
As Ben Rice pops out to third base, the throw trying to get the double play clips the umpire. Looks like he's going to be all right.
Yeah, that's Ortiz. There. It's Ortiz. I don't know if that's Ortiz. Maybe Mark Wegner.
That's Mark Wegner.
Over there at second. Imagine Judge's clubs would be like telephone poles.
Imagine how far he would hit the driver. Might spray it around a little bit, but
he'd probably get a good view of the whole course, I'm sure.
Oh, 2 down to bring up Anthony Volpe. Anthony 0 for 2, ground ball and a strikeout. He's trying to get his swing going this spring.
You know, we'd always do the luncheon, and that's something Mr. Steinbrenner was always involved with. And every single spring, we'd always do it. I remember one year, Fats Domino. Remember Fats Domino?
Yeah.
Was at one of the lunches.
Well, we just saw you have runners at first and second. We were just informed there was a catcher's interference on that swing from Ben Rice. So Anthony Volpe up with a chance to drive in at least one. There's a lot going on that play. Pop up to third. Umpire gets clipped. Line drive to third base, over to second. And that's a double play that's going to end the inning. So Volpe hits it hard, hits it into a little tough luck.
And the New York Yankees set the field. Let's do it.
Over the years, you've built equity in your home. And when you need money for life's necessities, your home can pay you back. Let us show you how you could access $45,000 or more. Visit us online at loandepot.com today.
Like he's locked in at that shortstop position.
Our guy could flat play defense on another level.
Oh, wow. Oh, man.
He's got good hands, good balance at the plate, hits the ball to all fields.
How about that Ezekiel Tovar? Ezekiel Tovar does it. Man, is Tovar special.
Look for big things for him in the near future.
You know I got the spirit, knock it out the park, knock it out the spirit of the game, knock it out the park, knock it out. You know I got the spirit, knock it out the park, knock it out the spirit of the game.
The catcher throws, not in time.
I went to college at Northeastern University, and all my friends were Red Sox fans, and while in my 3 years there, I really grew to appreciate Red Sox Nation and everything that they bring to the table, and once I got my head wrapped around the trade, I was really, really excited. I think they have one of the most iconic...
Yankees Spring Training on Yes is presented by your local Ford stores. Dominate the field or any terrain with the legendary Ford Bronco official SUV of the New York Yankees. Top of the seventh inning, Garrett Stubbs leading off for the Phillies. Yankees lead 2-1. And we have our interview of the day, which is brought to you by your local Ford stores. And Jim Curry was able to catch up with Didi Gregorius.
Didi, you've spent some time in Yankees spring training camp. What has that experience been like for you?
It's good. Just talk to the guys and having fun and, see everything how still things are. So it's a good experience. It's different because I've never been on this side, so it's just outside watching it.
Right. We were talking before you got on camera, and you're still playing. Let me know, or let the viewers know, some of the places you've played recently.
Just got back from Japan. Played in Dubai, Nicaragua, and Mexico. Those are this is my first 3 months of the year.
So the last time you played at the major league level was 2022. How much of a hunger and a desire is there for you to get back to a major league team?
I mean, it's up to them. I mean, I'm still playing, so if they want me, they want me. If not, I'm good where I'm at. So I'm not telling anybody that they have to do this, have to do that. So I'm here right now enjoying spring training with these guys, and then when I go back to play in Mexico or represent the Dutch team or the Curacao team, I'm just having fun playing with them. So for me, just playing the game.
Finishing out this interview, you had some really special moments with the Yankees. If you had to select one or two that stood out the most, what stands out the most for you?
Playing-wise, wild card game, the 3-run homer, and then the one after that, the 2-homer game too after that to advance. So I think those two are the main part, and especially the fans too.
You're only 35, Didi, and everybody keeps saying you still look like you could play. So I have a feeling that day could be around the corner. You never know.
What day?
coming back into the major leagues.
I mean, if they want me, yeah, why not? I mean, I'm still playing, so I'm still moving around. It's not I'm just sitting at the house watching TV, so I'm still playing, and let's see what's going to happen.
You even had a very philosophical answer when I said to you, 999 career hits. You're one away from 1,000, but what did you say 999 meant?
Completion. That's what I said, numerology, completion. It's 999, baseball is 9, everything is 9 innings, so I mean, it is what it is. I'm happy with it. If they give me a chance, I'll take it. If not, hey, I'm also happy with that, so I'm not too worried about that.
Great to see you, Didi. Thanks for the time.
Oh, good to see you guys too.
Well, thank you very much, Didi. Thank you, Jack. And Didi's still getting after it, playing the game.
I had him last, not this past season, but the year before. He was in Miami with Curacao in the Caribbean Series. He came up, when he came over here to New York, he was replacing a legend.
Yes.
And Derek Jeter. And that was a tough job for him for a while. I mean, he's a great shortstop. Took him a little bit to maybe overcome that.
Turned himself into a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Yankee fans love Didi Gregorius.
He was one of my favorite players to watch as well.
Cal Stevenson takes a changeup for a strike. What have you seen from Winans?
You know, he does. You look at that pitch right there. That's a really nasty changeup, and he throws it almost half the time. He doesn't have the overpowering fastball, but so he throws that pitch, but it's almost a fastball to show. And then he has the breaking ball. He gave up that base hit to Arroyo on a breaking ball. But not bad. He's a strike thrower. He keeps the ball down in the zone.
It's kind of refreshing to watch him go about his craft, right? I mean, today's game is all about power and throw it as hard as you can, but watching him dissect the lineup, it's changing speeds and hitting spots. Moves that changeup up a little bit, and that's drilled to right field, and that is gone. A 2-run home run for Cal Stevenson. And the Phillies now on top, 3-2.
Well, he wanted to go away with that changeup, and when you get underneath the ball, and that's what spring training is for, is try to dial in your mechanics, and it's okay to mess up. You watch how this elbow drops, and when the elbow drops, that changeup stays up, and it was supposed to be down and away, and was an outstanding call. I think that was the best pitch to go. After coming inside, you want to go down and away to see if you can get him roll over on one. That's just hung up there, and at 82, 83 miles an hour, that's what's going to happen.
That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Rodolfo Castro. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Nelly. It was the right call, the right pitch, just wasn't executed. And one of the things I really wanted to lock in on was J.C. Escarra behind the plate, really getting a chance to watch him behind the plate. Talked about how well he's been swinging the bat. I think one of the greatest compliments you can give a catcher, here we're in the 7th inning, I haven't noticed anything about him defensively that would make me think he's not a big league receiver.
Right. He's done a really nice job, and if you can have a backup that can also swing the bat, you know, it's a huge plus. Because you're talking, what, maybe 2 times a week that you may be playing?
Well, that's going to be an interesting conversation too, right? Austin Wells is such a young guy. I'm sure he's going to want to play pretty much every day, but we know in today's game they like to rest players more than maybe when we were doing our thing. But
you think 130 games behind the plate? You see that?
I think that's probably a high number. Good slider to get a swing and a miss, second out. I would say it's probably, I would say 120 would be a target for me if I'm looking at Austin Wells. And then you have 40 games you got to cover with a backup player. And here's the resume for Escarra. Signed a minor league deal January 11, 2024, 302 average in AAA. Won the 2024-25 Dominican Winter League batting title, 363. So he can swing it. And what I've seen behind the plate, he looks like a big league receiver to me.
Well, then that might be because you want Wells' batting line.
Yeah.
You know, okay, you're talking 42 games. If he's catching 120, that's 42 games that he's not behind the plate. I got to see him at DH in at least half of those. You need that bat. I think he's going to have a really good offensive year, Wells is. I think those power numbers could be 20, 25 homers. Maybe that is when you start thinking about, okay, hey, Ben Rice. I mean, he could also fill in behind the plate. Really hasn't had a lot of opportunities in spring behind there. He could play first. He can DH as well. And that way, if you do have Escara behind the plate and Wells as the DH, you know, you don't have to worry about losing your designated hitter because you have that backup and Rice as a catcher.
You know, as we're having this conversation, I'm having flashbacks when I backed up Jorge Posada for 3 years, 03 to 05. He would always target 140 games. Coming into a year, that's the number that he wanted to catch. You just don't see that anymore in today's game. 140 is a lot of games behind the plate. He would always end up anywhere from that 120 to 130 range, but his mindset was, I'm in there every day.
Well, I think the conditioning has definitely changed, not just the pitchers, but also the position players as well. And, you know, you hear so much about, oh, you know, maybe Austin Wells got a little tired last year at the end of the year. But you look at a minor league season, it's 142 games. It's only 20 more games in a big league season. So, you know, you have to condition yourself. You guys have the toughest time in spring training. You know, you guys are all over the place, catching bullpens, doing catching drills. You got to, at some point, mix in some batting practice.
Yeah, just like pitchers stretch out their arms and get the pitch count up, you know, starting catchers, and you see Escara in there here in the 7th inning. You got to get your legs underneath you, get deep into these ball games so that when you get into the season, you can catch 9 and go back to back like it's not a problem. Two down for Johan Rojas. First pitch sinker in for a strike. Rojas 0 for 3. Phillies made the trip over from Clearwater. These teams see each other quite a bit during spring training. There's a good slider down and away. Easy play to short. And then the Phillies answer back, though. A 2-run home run from Cal Stevenson gives the Phillies a 3-2 lead in the middle of the 7th inning. We are going to stay at George M. Steinbrenner Field for God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Yankees are recognizing all the brave men and women of our armed forces, especially Lance Corporal Serena Velasquez of the United States Marines. She has been serving our country for 2 years and serves our nation as part of the Inspector Instructor Staff of the 4th Assault Amphibian Battalion, Tampa, Florida. The New York Yankees welcome Lance Corporal Serena Velasquez as our military honoree of the game. And also say thank you to all of our brave men and women for their service and sacrifices for our nation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you remain standing, remove your caps for the playing of God Bless America.
Hi, fan. Hello, I'm Dennis Quaid. For years.
seventh inning, the Yankees trailing 3-2. It'll be J.C. Escarra lead off the seventh inning. Facing a new pitcher for the Phillies, Tanner Banks, left-hander, so left on left. Three runs, 4 hits, 1 errors for the Phillies, 2 runs, 6 hits, a couple errors for the Yankees. Escarra 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fielder's choice.
Well, Banks was traded over to Phillies last year with the White Sox the previous 3 years. You see his numbers combined with the White Sox and the Phillies. 41 games last year with Chicago. 22 with the Phillies.
Support America's military and first responder heroes. Donate $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation at T2T.org. Always kind of like these at bats, Nelly, during spring training when you have a left-handed hitting catcher against a left-handed pitcher, just to see how he hangs in there. You know, the coaching staff's going to be locked in. Fouling off some tough pitches, behind in the count 1-2. Our Jack Curry is with Carlos Carrasco. Jack.
Carlos, you've pitched more than 300 games in your major league career. You've been through this routine. What did you take away from tonight's performance?
You don't want to take away every pitch that I did today. I was looking on my changeup today and looking to get more depth, and that's what I had most, the strikeout. The two-seamer too for the lefty. I was working on the bullpen a lot in a couple games, and then finally I got it today.
You mentioned those pitches. You actually had strikeouts on 4 different pitches. You had 6 punch-outs total. What does that tell you about where your stuff is right now?
That I'm ready for the season. You know, like you said, yes, the fastball, changeup, slider, and curveball, even the two-seamer. So I got to strike out on all those pitches, and that's what is spring training, and that's what I've been working for and using everything today.
Where you are right now with your stuff, how would you compare that to previous spring trainings where you then went on to have a really good season? What's the comparison?
You know what? I feel ready now. I feel ready now. I can throw any of my pitches in the strike for strikeout. The biggest one is my changeup that I've been using my whole career, and another one, the slider too. And that's what I did today in the game. That's what I used the most.
When you signed with the Yankees, the path to a spot in the rotation wasn't as clear as it might be now because of a couple of injuries to Cole and Heel. How do you assess where you are in that rotation battle?
You know what? We don't want anyone, our guy, get hurt, you know. But I feel ready. I feel ready, and I just come into this camp to compete. And every camp that I come in, I just compete, and that's what I've been doing right now. At the same time, just getting ready for the season.
Very much Jack, and if you look at Carlos's numbers, 1 walk tonight, 6 strikeouts. Aaron Boone mentioned the swing and miss stuff.
Yeah, I thought he did really well. I mean, got out of a couple jams there in the first couple innings, and then really settled down. The breaking ball looked really, really good tonight, and also the fastball location. And that's so important when you don't have the 95, 96, is to be able to pitch to both sides of the plate.
TJ Rumfield, first pitch swinging, ground ball to second base. We're going to look at Carlos Carrasco and some of his highlights tonight.
Well, it took him a little bit to settle down, but there's that breaking ball down and away. Really nice pitch, gets a swing and miss. Another curveball down. There's another curveball. So that slider, he's a fastball slider guy, and this is what I like, that fastball inside. You got to be able to spot the pitches, got to be able to set up that slider. He doesn't really get into patterns. You don't see a whole lot of the same pitch back to back. You don't see 2 fastballs in a row. He'll throw the change, he'll throw the slider, then he goes back. So if he's throwing strikes, it's really tough to try to get into a rhythm and square him up as a hitter.
Peraza fouls that one off, and You know, as Jack was talking to Carlos, we saw J.C. Escarra go way deep. His third home run of the spring to tie this one up at 3.
Yeah, 7-pitch at bat, and that was a fastball inside that he just turned on. And you just mentioned how you love those at bats, and usually you probably don't see him left on left during the season. But in spring training, hey, go get him, and he did.
I'll tell you, he was hanging in there against the left. He took a fastball in the inner part of the plate and hammered it to right field. Peraza 0 for 2. Good swing there, fouls it straight back.
When did you feel in spring training that, okay, season's not too far away, now we're talking 13 days, that you really needed to lock it in and get ready?
You know, usually it would come down to one at bat or one pitch where, you know, I'm working on something or I react to a fastball in the inner half, and in my mind I say, okay, now I'm ready to go. But it changed every swing, every spring.
Touches.
Top of the 8th inning, we're all tied up. Matt Kepler first pitch swinging, line drive into right field, and earlier our Jack Curry caught up with the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies, Robbie Thompson.
Rob, I know you obviously bleed Phillies red now, but you can't see the Yankees and Steinbrenner Field and not think about the history that you had almost 3 decades with the Yankees. What surges back when you are playing the Yankees on a night like this?
Well, I think, 28 years here, and I wore a lot of hats here, and just all the really great memories of all the people that I met, all the people that taught me a lot about this game and a lot about people and how to deal with people, and and a lot of memories about Mr. Steinbrenner. I was just telling a story about us before every spring training. We would walk the lower bowl here, go through the visitors clubhouse, the umpires room, our home clubhouse, and just all the detailed things that he would take care of. And it was just, so I think about a lot of those things when I roll up here.
So when we see you in the dugout for the Phillies, managing a very successful team, how much did some of what you just mentioned build you into who you have become? All of the little things you had to do to get to this point.
Oh, everything. It really does. I mean, all the instructors I've been with, all the former players that taught me, Gator and Goose and Mickey Rivers and Lee Mazzilli and Willie Rand, all these guys, Yogi. And then all the minor league people that I dealt with, Mark Newman, who had a big impact on my coaching career. Yeah, it's just, you know, it was like going to college.
You mentioned that you wore a lot of hats when you were in the Yankee organization. Was there a pivot point for you when you absolutely knew, if I get the chance, I would love to be a major league manager?
I think when I first met Joe Torre, and I ended up being on his staff, I was an extra coach, but just the way he handled people, and handled maybe is the wrong word, the way he could really motivate people, and he was so good to people, and he respected others, and respected the game, and he taught me a lot about, you know, just keeping your poise and letting things happen.
Phillies won 95 games last year, got to the postseason. A very similar cast of characters back this season. What excites you about the 2025 Phillies?
Well, they're very motivated. They're very hungry. Which is good, and we've added Max Kepler, who's healthy now, and him and Kevin Long did a couple of things with his swing to shorten it up, and now he's pulling the ball, and he's really swinging about well. Jesus Luzardo has been really, really good for us. Jordan Romano we picked up, Joe Ross, so I really like where we're at, because we really only needed to get better just around the edges, and I think we've done that.
You mentioned Joe Torre. I'm sure there are moments since his managerial career ended where he said, I got the chance to manage Derek Jeter. I got the chance to manage Mariano Rivera. You've gotten the chance and still are managing a player like Bryce Harper. What would you say about what he means on and off the field to the Phillies?
He is huge, because he is kind of the heartbeat of our team, you know, and he's such a great player, but he's a great athlete, and what he's done defensively to go from the outfield and become this really, really good, potentially Gold Glove first baseman in a short period of time is unbelievable. But yeah, he's the heartbeat. He's what kind of makes us go. But we got a good club, and we got a good group of people, and they come to work every day, and they work hard, and they have fun while they're doing it.
Well, thank you very much, Jack. And Rob Thompson, one of the real good guys in our game, big league baseball.
Well, he ran our camp. You know, he talked about when Joe Torre added him to staff. I mean, he was already a coordinator for the minor league system with the Yankees. And when my first year in '96, well, then it was Legends Field, now Steinbrenner Field. He ran everything. I mean, he told us where to go. He ran the drills. You know, it was Groundhog Day with all the drills and defensive drills, base running.
As Clemens drills that into right field, that's going to be a base hit. As the runners will hold up, bases loaded, nobody out here in the 8th inning.
I mean, he did everything. And Joe Torre and Don Zimmer, they just stayed back, and they interacted when they felt they needed to.
We get a look at all the defensive changes that the Yankees have made. It looks like Aaron Boone is also going out to the mound to make a pitching change, as Alan Winans' night is done. As we will be back, Yankees in trouble here in the 8th inning. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Hurry into the Nissan Now sales event.
Well, Garrett Stubbs, first pitch swinging again. New pitcher, Yuendrys Gomez. And Stubbs did not waste any time. Gets a fastball, drills it to right field. That's going to be a base hit. The new right fielder, Castillo, has a little bit of trouble with it. It gets by him. Spencer Jones hustles it up. But the Phillies add a few, now lead 5-3 here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, Gomez on the mound has had a little time with the Yankees at 23. Pitched the game, 5 games last year. The big league level.
That'll bring up Christian Arroyo.
Looked like Winans was running out of gas. Sometimes when you're changeup happy, you get a little tired. That changeup starts to get elevated. This looks like what happened there in the 8th inning.
Fouled off. Our Jack Curry has Ben Rice down underneath the Yankee dugout.
Ben, you had a taste of the major leagues last season. What was your mindset and approach coming into this spring?
This spring, my focus was mainly to show that I can be a big league catcher, and to also, show that I can build upon the experience as a hitter and over at first base, really to just show that I can be an impactful part of the lineup.
We were talking off camera, and it's noticeable you've added about 10 pounds of muscle. How has that impacted the way you're hitting the baseball?
Yeah, I mean, just it's putting more force into the ball, so able to hit it a little bit harder, so when you hit it in the air, good things will happen.
You said you came to spring camp wanting to prove that you could be a major league catcher. If I handed you a form right now and you had to write down your position, are you a catcher, are you a first baseman, are you a DH, or are you writing all the above?
My answer would be whatever gets me in the lineup. So, but what makes it better is that there's a few different options you just said there, so that always makes it feel a little bit better.
Speaking of getting into the lineup, with the injury to Stanton, there's some uncertainty at the DH spot. You loom as someone who could get a lot of at-bats against righty pitching. How would you assess where you think you are in terms of the lineup and the roster construction?
Yeah, I mean, that's not up for me to decide. I mean, I'm just going to continue to control what I can control here, just give my best every day and show that I can be a part of the lineup in any different way, whether it's a DH, catcher, first base, wherever you need me.
I know it's not up to you to decide, but how satisfied or how pleased are you with what you've done this spring to let the Yankees know where you are in terms of accomplishing your goals?
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a good spot overall, a little less than 2 weeks to go here. I'm feeling good. I feel like we've been putting together a lot of good at-bats. I feel like I've shown what I can do from a defensive standpoint as a catcher. So really it's just, continue to just take it day by day and just go from there.
Well, Ben Rice had a good night tonight, a 2-run home run in the first inning, a base hit in the 4th. He was DHing tonight, didn't get to see him behind the plate. But I kind of love that answer to Jack Curry. I want to prove I can be a big league catcher.
Right, exactly. But if he wants to be in the lineup, it's not going to be behind the plate. I mean, you don't want to be a backup and all of a sudden see 2 times a week. He's got the ability to play first. He can also DH, so that may mean that they carry essentially 3 catchers.
Ground ball to short. Lombard Jr. up with it. So Gomez able to work his way through the top of the 8th, but the Phillies add a few. They now lead 5-3. Bottom of the 8th inning. George Lombard Jr. leading. Facing a new pitcher for the Phillies, John McMillan. You see the numbers for Lombard Jr. last year in the minor leagues, 110 games, but he has made quite an impression this spring. Very talented young Yankee prospect.
McMillan was with the Royals in 23 and Miami in 24. Only has 14 ball games pitched in the major league level. That's some good numbers in 14 games. That's a 1.69 ERA. That was last year with Miami.
Oh, good slider in there for a strike, even up the count at 2s.
"19 years old.
What were you doing when you were 19?
Not going to big league camp, that's definitely for sure.
That's a rocket to right field. And Lombard Jr. continues his impressive spring. Well, this Tuesday, the worlds of sports and business collide on the new Yes Network series, where leading industry voices bring you the game inside the games. Don't miss the premiere episode of Sportico, Sports Business, presented by Genius Sports. That's Tuesday at 10:30 after Nets coverage on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Here's the 1-0 for McMillan. Good fastball in there for a strike at 94. Brendan Jones gets his first at bat tonight. 24 games in A-ball. Squares around the bunt, lays it down. It's a good one, but just foul.
There's got to be a thrill for these kids coming over to the minor league complex, being able to get into a big league game in spring training.
You know, Nelly, whenever I was catching late in these games, when I would see a kid come over and you had the helmet with both ear flaps, I'd say, okay, you got to be careful on that first pitch, because you know they're coming across the street from minor league camp. They're not looking to walk. They're looking to do some damage and do it early. Jones rolls one over, an easy play from McMillan. We're going to go back to Jack Curry, who has some news about Carlos Carrasco.
Hey, guys, you were talking about Carrasco's situation earlier in the game, and obviously Will Warren also vying for a rotation spot. Nelly brought up the whole idea of an opt-out. Carrasco does have an opt-out. It's March 22nd, so that's a little more than a week away. So that makes for a very interesting decision on his behalf, or an interesting decision for the Yankees. When Carrasco was asked about an opt-out, he simply said he's focusing on pitching in 5 days. But both he and the Yankees are going to be on the clock, so to speak, with March 22nd looming. We know Warren has shown a lot to be considered for that final spot in the rotation, but Carrasco has as well. Decisions loom for the Yankees.
Well, thank you very much, Jack. And, you know, Nelly, you and I both know that at this point in spring training is Jackson Castillo getting his at-bat. There are so many decisions that have to be made, and you and I, as players, would be sitting in that clubhouse saying, so-and-so played well enough to make this team, right, performance-wise. But there are so many other factors that go into making the decisions. Who's out of options, who has opt-outs, all of these crazy things that affect the decisions at the end of spring training.
Right, and also Carrasco not being on the roster. He's not on the 40-man. Now, even though he does have that opt-out on March 22nd, the Yankees could easily go to him and say, listen, and he has to make that decision as well. Are there other opportunities that he sees that gets him into big leagues right away, and that he breaks camp with a major league team? He may not see that. He may not say, hey, there's no other opportunities around. The Yankees, unfortunately, have 2 injuries in their rotation.
Lombard Jr. steals third easily.
With Heel being out and Cole being out the whole year, that he may have a better opportunity saying, okay, I'm just going to forego that opt-out. Whatever happens, I'll accept if I don't make the team. There you see, that's a huge jump. It's just a pitcher. McMillan not paying any attention to Lombard Jr. at second.
Good slider there from McMillan. Swing and a miss. 2 down.
He may just say, okay, if I don't break camp, then I'll accept going back to AAA and then seeing what happens, and then maybe work out an opt-out there. Say, okay, May 1st, if I'm not at the big leagues, or May 15th, whatever it is, then he could find another slot, another team.
Well, Aaron Boone, he was talking to us. He liked what he saw from Carrasco tonight. Again, 1 walk. He struck out 6. He doesn't have that overpowering stuff anymore, but figuring out a way to get some swings and misses.
I think the question with Carrasco, especially over maybe his career, the injuries that he's had, is, yes, he's healthy in spring training. He feels great. He's looking good. Is that a lasting answer throughout the season?
Sustainable.
Yeah. Is it sustainable for him?
Dylan Lewis up at the plate. 2-0 count. It's a slider off speed. Big swing and a miss. That's the equalizer right there. When you're in the minor leagues and you get a 2-0 count, usually you're getting a fastball. You start graduating AA, AAA, major leagues. A lot more off speed and fastball counts.
Well, imagine after that sinker inside, that McMillan goes back away with that slider.
There it is. Misses down and away. Good take by Lewis. And 3-2. That misses down and away. 2-out walk for Lewis. Well, this is also the point in spring training where if you're Rob Thompson, the manager of the Phillies, Aaron Boone, manager of the Yankees, you want to start racking up some wins, kind of take some momentum into opening day. Phillies came into this game 9-8 in spring training. The Yankees 9-9. Juan Matthias, 54 games last year, .303 batting average. That's a ground ball to second base. McMillan's going to work his way out of the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll take this baby to the 9th. The Yankees trailing 5-3. Hey fans, Sunday on Yes, the march to opening day continues as the Yankees take on the Pirates here at Steinbrenner Field. Our coverage starts at 1 o'clock on Yes and streaming on the Gotham Sports app. As a reminder, opening day is Thursday, March 27th, and Yes, we'll have extended pregame coverage of the on-field ceremonies beginning at 1:30 on opening day.
Let's cross fingers for good weather.
Gomez back out there for his second inning of work on Sunday. The great Bob Lorenz, Jeff Nelson, and Jack Curry will have that game for you Sunday on Yes against the Pirates. And a slider in there for a strike. And the 1-2. The hot shot to third. Rodriguez up with it, one down. Well, we know that the great John Sterling retired last year, while Dave Sims has taken over to team up with Susan Waldman. And tonight is the first game for that duo. There's Dave working with Susan Waldman. So welcome to the family, Dave Sims. Spent a lot of time out in Seattle. You have to know Dave.
Yeah, I know Dave really well, and I think the fans are going to love him. I mean, he's got a lot of energy in the booth. He worked here in New York for a number of years. Still lives in the city. I see him every once in a while roaming the streets. But his knowledge of sports, his knowledge of baseball is second to none. And I know everybody will miss the voice of John Sterling, but you're going to get a fantastic broadcaster in Dave Sims.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to know Dave a little bit more. I mean, I've only interacted him briefly with as a visiting broadcaster or as a player, but couldn't be more of a gentleman.
He is a great guy, and like I mentioned, the energy is through the roof. He's on 24-hour Red Bull all the time.
Well, welcome, Dave. We'll see you opening day as the Yes Network will have extended pregame coverage. Well, here's Lee Sang. Marcus Lee Sang getting his first at bat tonight against Gomez. Nelly, I wanted to take a minute to remember a part of the Yankee family that we lost a few weeks ago. Lou Kakuza Sr., who was a mainstay at Yankee Stadium working the visiting clubhouse for 30-plus years, and just one of the great gentlemen that you could ever want to meet, and a great representative of the New York Yankees organization. And we know Robbie, his son, works the home clubhouse. Lou Jr. works the visiting clubhouse, but I knew Lou Kakuza Sr. back in 1992, my rookie year, when I came into that visiting clubhouse. And Sr. was from Westchester, New York. I was from Rockland, and we kind of had a nice connection. And it was always a treat going to play the Yankees, to see Lou Sr. going to Old Timers Day to be in his auxiliary clubhouse that's named after him. And that was tough news when we heard that we lost Lou Sr.
Yeah, a great man. With Lou and Lou Jr. and Robbie, you know them as well. And you know, same way. In 1992, I can remember coming to that clubhouse as a visitor and seeing him and Lou Jr. You know, in that back room, taking out the spreads, putting it on there, and getting anything that you could. And he was such a great man. And oh, he's going to be missed.
Yeah, we're going to miss him, and we send our condolences to the Kakuza family and Robbie and Lou. And your old man was special. We're going to miss him. Well, Gomez's night is done. is time for our Audi electric moment. Experience a fully electric Audi vehicle at your local tri-state Audi dealer today.
In the first inning, Sosa with a little fly ball to right. Judge battling the sun. That's a perfect throw. The guy, kids, if you're playing right field, you want to one-hop it off that grass. Gets Kyle Schwarber at the plate. Great tag by Escada. That ends the inning there in the first and gets Carlos Carrasco out of an early jam.
Well, a new pitcher for the Yankees. Number 50, Matt Keating, takes over. And he's going to face Robert Moore. 2-0 count. Goes Cutter 2-0 and misses. Season in the minor leagues last year for Keating, 40 games. 3.89 ERA, 32 walks, and the big strikeout number, 83 strikeouts and 69 in the third innings. And that is a 3-0 cutter that misses for a ball.
Imagine Gomez must have reached his pitch count. I mean, he had one out to get in the ninth inning. These are some of the minor leaguers that come over. The jixing, just in case. Hey, go down there and watch here.
Is that what it's called?
Jixing tonight, just in case.
Well, 2 down. Here's Trent Farquhar. Good fastball in there for a strike. 78 games, 285 batting average, a home run, 23 RBIs. Keating with that closed off delivery with the lower half.
He has that closed off delivery like you mentioned, and as soon as he lifts that leg, he really flies open with that hip, so he doesn't throw across his body like you would expect the way he lines up.
Well, a big curveball to get the strike 3 called looking. So nice job from Keating to finish up the top of the ninth inning. We'll take this baby to the bottom of the ninth.
Rafael Devers stands in the batter's box, and he's a ribbing machine.
This guy drives in 100 runs a year. In his sleep, his bat plays.
He has earned his place among the elite hitters in the game.
Rafi Devers strikes again.
He is spectacular.
He's a franchise-type player. Devers' offense is legit.
Out of sight!
He just mashes.
Ridiculous.
Corey Seager, all eyes on him. He's ready to go. He's aggressive.
Here's a dude that swings 52% of the time on first pitches.
Corey Seager smashes the ball.
The ability to be able to come together and compete every night, you know, that's what it's all about at this point for me.
Corey Seager does it again.
This guy is doing it all.
He's hitting bombs all the time.
Bobby Witt Jr. is an absolute superstar in the making.
I've never seen anything like him.
He's one of the best players in baseball.
Highlight reel play, Bobby Witt Jr.
That's why we call him Bobby Baseball.
It is time for our Cadillac drives of the game.
Well, it's in the first inning. Ben Rice off of Taiwan Walker. A cutter upstairs, a 2-run homer. Scores Bellinger, who had a double in that inning. And then how about in the 7th? A 7-pitch at-bat off of Banks. Escada, number 3 on the spring. He absolutely crushed that fastball inside. Lefty on lefty. Nice job.
Rafael Flores leading off, bottom of the ninth. The Yankees trail by 2, 5-3 Phillies. New pitcher for the Phillies. Trying to close it out here in the bottom of the ninth. Good sinking fastball at 96. And the 0-2 that misses inside off the plate.
Good fastball, 98.
Slider, swing and a miss, one down here in the ninth. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. The disclaimer is always the favorite part of my game. Yeah.
Get that over with.
That disclaimer out of the way with one out. In the ninth, here's Spencer Jones. Getting his first at bat of the night. 17 bombs last year, 78 RBIs. And the 2-0, and that misses up and away. Well, Jones has made an impression in big league camp last year, has shown some power this spring. And go down in the minor leagues, continue to develop. And that fastball misses, a 4-pitch walk for Jones. That'll bring up T.J. Rumfield, who grounded to second base his first at bat. Left-handed hitter with the open stance. First pitch swinging and hammers one to right center field and deep and gone. We are tied up at 5. A 2-run shot from T.J. Rumfield. That ball went a long way.
That was a no-doubter after a 4-pitch walk to Jones. Hey, you're sitting dead red when you're coming late in the ball game. I'm not waiting around for any slider. I'm getting that first pitch fastball, and he absolutely destroyed this one.
No doubt about that one. There's Jesus Rodriguez.
I've add that to the drives of the night. That was crushed.
Well, good for T.J. Rumfield. And I remember being a young player when you would come in these games late, catch maybe the last 3 innings, and you might get one at bat. Rumfield, that was his second at bat. We got into the flow of this game a little bit more and takes advantage of a first pitch heater as Rodriguez.
The call is ball 4, catcher's challenging.
And we got a catcher's challenge here on that ball call.
It is ball 4. Philadelphia is out of challenges.
Well, we're going to take another look at that home run swing from T.J. Rumfield.
Yeah, 98-mile-an-hour fastball upstairs. jumped all over it. First pitch. Right center field, up in that roof, that tarp area. That's a no-doubter.
We had a look from the side there and that big leg kick. Nelly, that's not easy to do, to get like all loaded on your backside. And when you have all that weight on your backside, it's real easy just to fall forward. Rumfield just got that front foot down and let her rip after that. Beautiful swing. Rodriguez on the move. He's going to steal second base easily. So in scoring position, Lombard Jr. to see if he can be a hero and have a walk-off win during spring training.
Yeah, big lead as well from Rodriguez. You see almost both feet on that cutout there at first base. Well, you get a young pitcher that's struggling, and you can really take advantage of them, especially with fast guys on the bases. They don't really pay attention to the runners too much.
Well, Lombard Jr. has shown some power this spring. Had a hard line drive his first at bat. See if he can be a hero tonight. Ooh, big swing and a miss. Good fastball. A 98. Power against power. He comes back with another one. Goes off speed. Slider misses off the plate.
I can't imagine 3-2 if he goes back with that fastball. I think Lombard Jr. might end this game. I think slider here with first base open.
Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Up and in. 2 down.
That was one of those swings that you're guessing fastball and you want to jump all over it, and it's ball 4 and you just cannot hold up. He sees it coming inside. He just can't hold up the swing.
Oh, 2 down to bring up Brendan Jones. Chance to be a hero. Wasn't covering, so that's going to be an infield base hit, and Rodriguez scores all the way from second base. So the Yankees will celebrate a walk-off infield hit. Aggressive base running, some power in the 9th inning from Rumfield, and the Yankees take this spring training game 6-5 against the Phillies.
Well, this is a hard shot. You go over pitchers fielding practice every single day in spring training. You got to get over there. Good heads-up base running by Rodriguez, and the Yankees win. Big 3 runs in that bottom of the 9th inning.
Well, the Yankees celebrating a 6-5 comeback win, a walk-off in the bottom of the 9th inning. And they now go over 500 for the spring. As we look at our scoreboard for this one, the Yankees 6 runs on 10 hits and 3 errors. The Phillies 5 runs, 7 hits and an error. Walker through 4 innings, 4 hits, a walk and a strikeout. J.C. Escarra continuing his hot spring, 1 for 3 with a solo home run. Time of the game, 2 hours and 39 minutes. Well, that'll do it from George M. Steinbrenner Field. Special thanks to producer Mike Medvin, director Ryan Rutherford, Mike Webb, and our executive producer is Jared Ames Boschnack. Join us again on Sunday as the Yankees host the Pirates at George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. Coverage is going to begin at 1 o'clock right here on Yes. Once again, the final score, Yankees 6, Philadelphia Phillies 5. For Jeff Nelson, Jack Curry, I'm John Flaherty. Have a good night, everybody. So long. The Yankees celebrate a walk-off win, 6-5 victors tonight. We'll be back and see you on Sunday on Yes. Have a good one, everybody.